say
For me, this is every day.
Let's say, yeah, all right. Let's say Moses comes down the mountain with the tablets.
Oh, that dude.
Okay, I don't know if Moses did come down the mountain with the tablets.
I don't think he did.
Let's say he did.
But okay.
Did he know he was bullshitting people?
Well, do you know what religious scholars actually believe in Jerusalem? Actually believe that was all about now, the whole burning bush.
Tell me.
They believe it was the acacia bush, which is rich in DMT, and they think the metaphor of the burning bush was actually a psychedelic experience, and that Moses, during this psychedelic DMT experience, came back from the other dimension that you go into when you go into the DMT trance, with all this really these standard messages that I myself have gotten from these psychedelic experiences, that you have to treat each other as if we're all one, and that our separations are all illusions, that you are literally living a life that if I was born in your body and I had your genetics, I would be you and you would be me, because we are all the same. And our differences are really what the illusion is. We are these temporary beings, and that negative thinking and negative feelings and all these things manifest themselves in negative actions and negative thoughts, and you can change that. You can change the frequency in which you exist in this world.
Okay.
Like, this is essentially what the 3,000-year-old version of Moses, or more than that, Moses' tablets were. That they were, God was the burning bush.
Perfect.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. You've done some hallucinogens.
Oh, yeah.
And you've had some insight.
Yeah.
And that insight had something to do with treating people well.
Yes, it definitely did.
Okay. Was it true?
Well, it definitely has benefited me. True or false, if you ask me, is it true that you have had positive experiences from psychedelic drugs where you have interpreted those experiences and improved your life? Yes,
Good.
that's true.
Okay. So if you now go and you convey that thing to somebody who hasn't had the experience themselves, is it bullshit?
Well, here's the thing about psychedelics as opposed to all the other ideologies, is that they're very repeatable. You don't have to believe in DMT. If you smoke it, you're going to experience it whether you believe in it or not.
Right. And actually, I think this is, I am a cautious fan. I say cautious because I'm not a fan of the idea that these substances should be used recreationally. I think that's a mistake.
I agree with you.
I think it's fine to have a great time, but that these things are so powerful that one should be deliberate about it, and, don't do it with a TV.
The only thing that I like about doing it recreationally is it's going to get more people to do it. And that if you think it's recreational and then you do it, there's going to be a certain percentage of those people that go, what was that? That's not what I thought it was. I thought I was going in there to have a good time, and I just communicated with God.
Yep.
Air quotes God.
Yeah, air quotes. Well, but air quotes God is marvelous because air quotes God is the real deal.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, it's not a dude on a cloud.
Right.
It's something, it is a metaphor for something lodged very deep in the mind where you can't find it directly, and this is a hack that many cultures have used to access that layer.
And it's all very familiar to us, and when you talk to people that have studied DMT in particular, one of the reasons why I think it's so familiar to us, when you have this experience, one of the first things that happens is you feel like you've been there before. And they believe that this is because during REM sleep, your brain produces DMT.
Yep.
It's very difficult to monitor, but they have been able to, through the Cottonwood Research Foundation, which all started from the work of Dr. Rick Strassman out of the University of New Mexico, who wrote a book called DMT, the Spirit Molecule, which was one of the very first times where the DEA allowed them to do clinical studies on people with intravenous dimethyltryptamine, which is like fucking serious shit. Mm-hmm. So instead of like this 10 to 15 minute trip, you're gone for a long time, half hour plus, and deep, deep experiences that a lot of these people mirrored. They had like super similar experiences, but through the Cottonwood Research Foundation, they found that live rats are producing DMT in their pineal gland. This has been proven now, which was really just speculation. There was anecdotal evidence, but now they know that rats produce this. Well, so they don't know exactly when people do it, because they would have to do the same thing they do to rats. They'd have to open your brain up. Until they develop some sort of sophisticated detection methods, it's just speculation as to when the brain's producing this incredibly potent psychedelic drug. But it's there.
Right.
We know it's producing it. We know it's produced in the liver. It's produced in the lungs. It's endogenous to the human system, and we don't know why.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I have a good insight into why.
Okay.
But for the moment, let's pursue the issue of what the implications are.
Okay, I'll hold on to why. I'll cross my fingers.
Yeah,
for
cross
why.
your fingers on that one. The story you've just told is perfectly plausible, whether it's 100% accurate or not, and we don't know.
Right.
But the idea that your mind contains mechanisms that go into some sort of psychedelic state without your conscious mind being able to tap into it, so your conscious mind walks around during the day not realizing that you're tripping at some other moments for some purpose, it's all very interesting. You're not tripping in your sleeping mind for no reason at all. You're doing it for productive reasons. Logically speaking, it has to be the case that if you're burning energy and going through the costly exercise of thinking, even in this psychedelic way, that it's happening for a reason, right? And that means that we have carried this with us from an ancestral state into the modern state, and we now have molecules that we can trigger it when we want to. That gives you access to a style of thinking that you're telling me has altered your understanding of your relationship to other people, and that it metaphorically lines up with what you often hear delivered in religious terms, right?
Abstractly, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you say Catholicism is a cult, I don't agree, because Catholicism historically must have been delivering messages that caused people to correct their thinking in ways that made them collaborate more effectively, that made them better able to find the opportunities in their environment. I'm not advocating that we should sign up for belief systems that are at odds with our modern environment. But one thing we can say, I believe for sure, is that religions that have stood the test of time did so because their value to the people who believed in them was so great that those that disbelieved were outcompeted.